Hello guys, my name is Balkrishna Srivastav and welcome to Code with BK. So in this video we solve question 10 of 2023 ISC Computer Science Specimen paper, which is to create a class interest. So before we begin, it is a request to please subscribe to my channel, because out of 100 viewers only 1 or 2 are subscribed, and a subscription is very important. So please subscribe to my channel. So let's begin. So we are given this question, right? So you have a superclass bank and you have to create a subclass interest. And whenever I solve ISC Computer Science board question papers, I always recommend that you read the question carefully from the first letter to the last letter. Alright, so take a minute and give it a reading. So in this case, you have to assume that the superclass bank has been defined. And using inheritance, you have to specify the class interest, giving details of the constructor, calculate and display. Superclass main and algorithm are not needed. So I will be using a superclass bank because I will need that to test my code, and then I will create this interest class. Okay. So let me create a class bank. And obviously I'm not going to show you this class bank because when you solve these questions on the question paper, you won't have access to the class bank. You have to solve the question, you have to write this class interest using the concept of inheritance. Okay, so I say class interest. Okay, since it is a subclass of bank, I say extends bank. Okay, the data members of this class are rate and time, and these both are in decimals. Okay, so private double rate, private double time. Private because they are both data members. Okay, and I always solve these questions on VS Code so that I don't get any help from autocomplete or from the IDE. I just have to write the code from memory, because in the question papers you people will also have to write the code from memory. Okay, moving on, I have to write the constructor interest. Okay, so I say public interest. Okay, parameterized constructor to assign values to the data members of both the classes. Okay, so class bank has data members name, account number and principal, and class interest has data members rate and time. So this interest class constructor is supposed to take values for these three data members and these two data members. Okay, because they want to check that you are able to pass values to this superclass constructor through this subclass constructor. Okay, so we SF 5 values: name, account number, principal, rate, time, which is string, integer, double, double, double. Okay, so I say string name, int, account number. You can use a long as well, does not matter, it just has to be an integer type. Then we have double principal. Okay, then we have double rate and double time. Okay, the first three values for the superclass, the next two values for the data members of this class. Okay, so since this is a subclass, the first line of code in the constructor of the subclass is the call to the superclass constructor. So I am going to use the super keyword and pass the three values name, account number and principal, okay, to the superclass constructor. Okay, because in the description it says the constructor of this bank class accepts values and assigns to the data members. Okay, and this is what they want to check in the constructor of this interest class, that you are calling the superclass constructor, and it is the first line of code passing values for all the data members of this superclass. Okay, and again this order does not matter, you can change the order, but you should make sure that you are passing all the three values. Okay, all right, since it is mentioned as name, account number, principal, my order is name, account number, principal. The key point is that you should be passing values for all the data members whichever order. Okay, and this should be the first line of code. Okay, then we set this dot rate to rate and this dot time to time. Okay, setting the data members of this class. So my constructor for class interest is done. Moving on, I have to complete this double calculate. So I say public, because this is a member method, double calculate. Okay, does not take any arguments, right? Okay, and name of the function is the same. All right. Okay, to calculate and return the compound interest using the formula ci equal to p1 plus r by 100 n minus p, where p is principal, r is rate and n is time. So we have to calculate and return the compound interest. Okay, so I will create this term first. Okay, then I will create this formula. Okay, so I want to find p1 plus r by 100 to the power n first. So I say double term is equal to math dot pow 1 plus rate by 100 and to the power n, which is time. Okay, so I get this term, and you just have to use the formula. You don't have to bother if this n is in months or years or whatever. You just have to plug in the values using this formula. Then I'll calculate compound interest, which is going to be double compound interest equal to principal into this term minus principal. Okay, p into this term minus p. Okay, and this principal value I am using from my superclass. Okay, because principal is a member of the superclass. Now there are two ways I can access this principal member in the superclass. One, if it is protected. Okay, if it is private, I cannot access it. This has to be protected, or this class should provide me a getter member function. Okay, that returns the value of this principal. I don't see a getter, so I assume that this principal is protected. Okay, because that is the only way I can access principal from superclass, and I need principal for this formula. And this kind of assumption happens very often when you're solving inheritance type questions in IC boards paper, right? And finally you return compound interest. So return compound interest, compound interest. Okay, and I am naming the variables for the purpose they are meant. I always recommend whenever you name variables, they should depict the purpose they are meant for. Okay, so my calculate method is done as well. Moving on, I have display. So I have public void display. Okay, and display customer details along with compound interest. So there is a display method in this bank class as well. Okay, it means this display method is overridden. All right, and it says you have to display the customer details. So you have to first call display method of this super class using the super keyword. So you say super dot display. Okay, so this piece of code calls the display method in this bank class that displays details of these three data members. I will show you this bank class at the end and you will understand how this works. And then I have to show the compound interest. So system dot out dot println compound interest. Okay, plus call this calculate method. Okay, so my display method is done as well, and these were the requirements of this question, which is done. So let me just add some code in the main so that I can check this. Okay, so in my main I have taken an interest class object that gives a name. Okay, this is a name, this entire thing is a name. Okay, and then you have the account number, the principal, rate and time. Okay, and the Easter egg here is you have to find which character does this name belong to. Okay, it's a very popular character. All right, so let me compile this first. Java C question 10 compiles, and let me show you this bank class now. Okay, the three data members as mentioned, and I'm taking name, account number, principal because it is a parameterized constructor. Okay, and since I have written my bank class, I know this is the order of the data members, but you can pass the data members in any order here. It does not matter as long as you are passing values for all the data members of the bank class. Okay, then I have a display method that simply displays the details of all these three. Okay, all right, so let me run this. So I'll say Java ISC 2023 question 10. So the name is this, account number is this, principal is this, and compound interest is this. All right, so this was the solution to this problem, and I hope this was helpful. So I will add the link of the code in the description of this video, and this question is also solved in Hindi, so you can find the solution of this question in Hindi on my Hindi channel as well. I will add the link of that video in the description as well. And more questions of 2023 ISC Computer Science Specimen paper are solved. I will add the link of those videos in the description as well. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. You like this video, so please subscribe to my channel, and please let me know in the comments if there was anything not clear to you in this video, and if there was something that you did not like about this video, please just don't press the dislike button. Please also let me know in the comments what was it that you did not like about this video, so that I can improve in my further videos. And you can always let me know if there is a question you want to solve or if there is a concept you want to discuss. Thank you.